Recently, Jontay Porter, the brother of NBA standout Michael Porter Jr., was investigated by the league for gambling on his own games. Despite amassing a fortune as a professional basketball player, Porter committed a cardinal sin in the realm of sports, and in response, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver threw down the hammer, imposing a lifetime exclusion to uphold the integrity of the sport. As an avid basketball fan who devotes over 100 hours annually to watching the NBA, it's awful to witness incidents like this that tarnishes the reputation of the league. I mean, why watch a game if it might be rigged? This question has driven me to investigate the situation further. How prevalent is sports betting in the NBA today? What does the history of sports gambling reveal? And more importantly, how is it currently impacting the league? Today, for my love of the game, I'm determined to conduct a thorough exploration of these issues, completely unbiased, to get closer to the truth. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right in. On December 19th, 2023, 4 games were scheduled, setting the stage for an unbelievable turn of events. I'm not usually one to gamble, and I've never placed an online bet in my life, but let me tell you, this was one of the most incredible sports bets I've ever seen. It was a 4-leg parlay, meaning 4 specific outcomes had to align for the bettor to claim the prize money. Here were the conditions. Brandon Ingram needed to score the first basket in the Grizzlies versus Pelicans game, Zach Collins in the Spurs versus Bucks game, Steph Curry in the Celtics versus Warriors game, and finally Jeremy Grant in the Sun versus Blazers game. Each of these events was necessary for the bet to succeed. The odds were staggeringly set at 4,428 to 1, translating to a mere 0.02% chance of success. Yet, on this day, one daring individual defied these odds, turning a modest bet of $2.50 into an astonishing $11,000. After researching other astonishing online sports gambling wins, including 2 unbelievable 6-leg parlays on 3-point shots that turned $25 into over $100,000, I gained insights into the world of online betting, specifically about prop bets and parlay bets. Now, some of you might already be familiar with these terms, but for those who don't engage in betting, like myself, this was quite enlightening. Essentially, a prop bet is a wager on a specific occurrence within a game rather than on the game's final result. For instance, instead of betting on the Warriors to win, one might bet on Steph Curry to score 50 points, Draymond Green to get ejected, or Klay Thompson to miss all his 3-point attempts. You get the idea. A parlay bet, however, involves combining several of these prop bets. Each event included in the parlay must occur for the bet to pay out. This is precisely what led to Jontay Porter getting caught. He placed a bet that was so obvious it triggered an alert from gambling sites. Actually, he made 2 significant errors. The first mistake involved the prop bet set for him on January 26th, which were 5.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and 0.5 3-pointers made. If you're wondering why these aren't whole numbers like 5 points or 4 rebounds, it's to prevent something known as a push. A push occurs when the final result of a bet matches the set number exactly, meaning the bet neither wins nor loses and all wagers are returned. Well, just 4 minutes into the game, Jontay had already racked up 3 rebounds and 1 assist. This meant there were just 2 more rebounds or 1 more assist that would cause anyone who bet on him, including himself, to lose the bet. As a result, he abruptly left the game, citing a re-aggravation of an eye injury. On the following day, during their daily report, DraftKings announced that the under on Porter had been the most profitable bet for any NBA player props that night. Then, on March 20th, in a game against the Sacramento Kings, a similar incident occurred. His over-under bets for the night were set at 7.5 points and 5.5 rebounds. And just about 3 minutes into the game, Porter exited, citing an illness, and did not return. This meant anyone who had bet on his unders immediately won the prop bet. While initially, Porter's season statistics might make you question the logic of placing those types of bets, the truth is, due to injuries to Scotty Barnes and Chris Boucher, Porter's playing time had surged to about 20 minutes per game. So in the 4 games preceding this, he averaged 7 points and roughly 5 rebounds. But anyway, once again, DraftKings reported that this outcome was the top moneymaker for the night across all NBA bets. What made these cases even more suspicious was the fact that the average NBA player prop bet usually falls between $1,000 and $2,000, but the bets placed on Jontay Porter were significantly higher, ranging from $10,000 to $20,000. In fact, during the March 20th game, one bettor placed a staggering $80,000 on a parlay bet. This bet was that if Porter scored 7 points or fewer and grabbed 5 rebounds or fewer, the bettor would win $1.1 million. However, the sports betting operators flagged this as suspicious and froze the wager. This action triggered the investigation, which eventually led to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver issuing a permanent ban on Porter. What's somewhat ironic about this situation is that Adam Silver himself played a significant role in bringing sports gambling into the mainstream in the United States back in 2014 when he wrote a piece for the New York Times advocating for the legalization of sports betting, using the phrase "out of the underground and into the sunlight" to express his stance. He also emphasized in his writing, any new approach must ensure the integrity of the game. However, the inherent challenge lies in the fact that sports betting and maintaining the integrity of the game simply cannot coexist. Over time, human nature's insatiable greed for money will inevitably take a hold and begin to exert its influence over games. This has been evident in numerous scandals throughout sports history. The 1919 Black Sox scandal, where 8 players were accused of throwing the World Series for money. The 1980s Boston College basketball point shaving scandal, where players manipulated scores for betting gains. The 2000 Spanish Paralympics basketball scandal, involving athletes faking disabilities for medals and sponsorships. The 2000 Hansi Cronje cricket match fixing scandal, where a captain accepted bribes to influence match outcomes. The 2007 Tim Donaghy NBA betting scandal, where a referee rigged games he officiated. The 2011 Turkish football match fixing scandal, implicating over 30 games. These are just a few examples of the widespread betting scandals that have plagued professional sports globally. They span various sports and nations, but share a common motive: manipulating game outcomes for financial gain. Apart from the Jontay Porter incident, the true extent of betting-related issues in NBA games remains largely unknown until they surface publicly. However, given the substantial financial stakes involved, there's a valid argument to suggest that such occurrences may be more widespread than commonly perceived, implicating both players and referees. In fact, some retired NBA players assert that there's actually a significant number of referees involved in gambling activities nowadays.
You think it's another ref that's in the NBA right now that's like him?
Club of them. I think it's a club of them. But we clearly see the discrepancies in certain games where the swing for Vegas hits the numbers, right? These are elements that bookies know about, gamblers know about. Hey man, this is a game we need Luka out. He gets 2 technicals before halftime.
One counter-argument to this notion is that the NBA players and referees already earn substantial salaries, so why would they risk their careers for additional money? However, as highlighted earlier, the potential financial gains from betting can far exceed their regular earnings. For instance, the individual who placed the $80,000 parlay bet on Jontay Porter stood to make over $1 million, more than double Porter's salary. However, in the case of Tim Donaghy, despite having a successful career with a comfortable salary of $300,000 per year as an NBA referee, he still succumbed to the temptation of making extra money through illicit means. These days, when you think about prop betting and parlay bets, you realize there's a ton of ways to cheat the system. Like, even though I've never placed an online bet and likely won't, just spending a few minutes brainstorming gave me some ideas on how referees could manipulate outcomes without getting caught. For instance, imagine placing a parlay bet on a player getting exactly 5 fouls, but his team still winning by 10 points. As a referee or a team of referees, orchestrating such an outcome might not be too difficult without anyone noticing, but the potential payout could be huge. And that was a quick example I came up with in 5 minutes, without any professional refereeing or betting experience. Just think about what experienced individuals could do in this scenario. That example should give you a quick glimpse into the extent of betting that occurs in sports. To be fair, the NBA claims to closely monitor all activities and even has an internal team consisting of lawyers and full-time data scientists dedicated to investigating any irregular bets or line movements. However, the reality is that Pandora's box of sports gambling has already been opened, and the methods of gamblers will only become more sophisticated over time. Consider this. If the NBA couldn't effectively stop James Harden from exploiting the rules to draw fouls for a significant portion of the 2010s, how can they hope to regulate an industry where transactions amount to $50 to $80 billion every year? On a completely different note here, Do y'all see this image here of Nikola Jokic sitting alone, looking pretty sad? Well, did you know that this moment marked the official end of the LeBron James era? Curious to know what I'm talking about? If so, then make sure to click on this video here.